Do you think we'll ever see a song of that nature in the future, or would you like to see something like that, even a fan song?
I'd love to see something. I was trying, because like getting a hold of popular entities is, can be really, they're behind walls of business people and agents and things like that. But for Soulstorm, I wanted to get a hold of Amy Lee I think it was Amy Lee from Evanescence.
Yep.
And her voice there's just like three, four singers in history that when I hear their voice, I just get chills in my spine. It's like, wow. One was Ofra Haza, and she was out of Israel. And she just had, there was a lot of it was like this kind of Israeli pop, which I, wasn't that hip to, but she had some things that she did like in these ancient voices with more ancient types of instruments and these really long sustained notes that just made you want to cry. And I remember it was played for me in the studio by a guy who was doing, he was doing his soundtracks for like Kronos and, IMAX movies and stuff. He was an amazing composer. Michael, and his name's just slipped me at the moment, but I was in his studio one day in LA, and the record label publisher, we were hanging out, and he goes, "Oh, it was Michael Stearns." And if anyone loves like the beginning of really intense, kind of highly designed digital sounds that are more organic and feeling ancient, if you ever saw the film Kronos, he did the soundtrack I mean, it is truly like time travel. So this guy, Michael Stearns, he's like, you got to hear this voice out of Israel. And this was Ofra Haza. And the first time I heard it, I was just like chills, like you're listening to some, like a deity coming through with a supernatural type of voice. And it just blew me away. A few voices have had that effect on me over time. And they're usually out of the Middle East. And I think they say they were trained as really small children to sing in quarter tones. And I'm not a musical expert, but from what I understood is if you weren't trained that way, you couldn't. It would, if you were trained early enough, it would change how you sang as an adult. And so she had this incredible voice. And then there was a few others like that, but it's Amy Lee, right? Evanescence.
Yeah, Amy Lee.
Yeah.
And I'm a big fan.
Her voice, I was just like, oh my God, it just had a similar power. And I was like, I want to have a song for Oddworld that has that, a voice that just like comes out of the past with a powerful resonance to it, where you can feel what they're feeling because their voice is so expressive and then so wide in range and capability. So Amy Lee's voice blew me away, and I was like, come on, let's see if we can get Amy Lee, And then we didn't really get any success in that, but there was a desire, and I'd still love to do some things like that. But usually it comes with big marketing budgets. And so since we're self-published, we didn't have many things like that coming our way like it did when you have, mainstream retail marketing on your products.
Something to bear in mind, hopefully.
Yeah.
The future. Yeah. Maybe we can come back to this.
Sure.
That's awesome. I'm quite a fan of Amy Lee and Evanescence as well.
So yeah.
Also, as you were talking about voices, I was just thinking of I don't know the name of the artist, but from the film The Fifth Element, where there's like that concert singer.
The opera singer, yeah.
The opera singer from that.
Yeah.
That's like one of those powerful voices that you just remember through time.
Yeah, it's funny. It was like, as a kid, I was growing up, my dad was a singer. He sang with the U.S. Navy choir, which when I was a little kid, like 5 or 6, my mom was like, we're going to watch your dad on TV tonight. And this is at a time when there was only 3 stations, 3 television stations that came in. There was no cable. It was like, how good was the antenna on your roof? And the answer was always terrible. And so you got 3 half-assed stations. And then the U.S. Navy men's choir was like a big thing. It still is, I guess. And that was the first time I was like, wow, Dad sings. Like I didn't really get it. And then I had to, when they were divorced, most of my childhood, I'd go with him he belonged to church groups, not because he was religious. He just liked to sing, and there was always choirs, so he hung out with all these church groups for the singing. And it wasn't until I was like 18 that he did this solo on To Dream the Impossible Dream. And then that had that effect on me too. Like it just floored me in the audience. The guy was so incredible in his singing, and it was his dream to sing in the Met, and he never got there. Life is always in the way. But I had a deep appreciation for really powerful voices. I remember, like, my dad taking breathing lessons and stuff. I was like, breathing to sing, it was kind of foreign to me. But I've always had a thing for those amazing voices, and I think I always will. I think they resonate something deeper in us. That's how it feels, and I can't explain it much beyond that. But it's like they're playing the strings of your soul.
Yeah, it's an interesting concept. Cool. I appreciate that extra insight. I'm sure the community are enjoying that, and I've already seen in the Discord people are talking about Amy Lee, and that's quite cool to see.